Once upon a time, there were two boys. Shit happened and stuff took place. Now those boys are men, and they can't afford a therapist. So together, on this podcast, they will air out what nobody talks about. Shit's gonna get weird, and you are going to judge. This is the Shaky and Jakey Get Judged show.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Says it, man. Says it there.
There we go. I'm recording, so we're all good.
Are we, though?
Maybe.
Where's this one going? Is this one going into the nether?
This
ether?
is
Is this going into the ether?
The other one goes up 4 o'clock tomorrow morning. Yeah. The YouTube video is cut, but I don't have enough space on my computer to put it onto the drive.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, the computer's been a thing. I'll try and take some stuff off. Of course, you can't take any apps off because IT needs to approve that.
You need, yeah.
Maybe you can. Maybe I can share the. Hang on a sec, just before we go. I don't forget it.
Before we go, where are you done?
No, like before we start the show.
We already started. You're recording.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we can talk about it this way. I'm gonna share a file with you.
You're gonna talk about it.
I'm gonna share this file with you.
Onto where? I'll freak out.
Oh, it's not done. No, it's fine.
You can't upload it because it's not done uploading.
Yeah, it's not done uploading. That didn't work. Bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
Nothing. You? Nothing. We're
Yeah,
good?
0.
All right.
0.
Great. Well, hello, everybody. Goodbye. We got chirped by Sully last night.
Oh, wow. Haven't heard from him in a while.
Yeah, he's asking what the fuck's going on. I said, well, you know how this goes, right? He goes, yep, I do. So any long-time listeners know exactly what I'm not about to get into. Because you get a hall pass for another exactly
March 24 hours.
March 15th is when your hall pass ends. I've decided.
Oh.
Yeah.
How did that science work out?
Well, I figured out it's close enough that it will be almost a year, almost.
Yeah, would it be 10 months by then?
Yeah, so, but not a full year, so that doesn't count, because I'm not that guy where I think that you should get it. But it's right before St. Patrick's Day, and I feel that with your current trajectory, that might be a jump-off point for you to make an amazing decision. So I'm thinking March 15th is a good time to replenish the stock of now you're held accountable again.
Yeah.
I think is how my math was working.
Okay.
So
cool.
All you listeners out there, the teeth come back out March 15th. For fucking all involved.
March 15th. It'll be season 6.
All involved.
Half the celebrities on the planet will have died?
Yeah, then they will be back. Everyone's back in the crosshairs of Shaky's shooting emporium. What's going on? Well, I mean, I would be remiss if I did not hop in on some social transgressions.
Yeah.
And now everyone's like, oh my God, they're going to talk Iran and Israel and the election. Nah, fuck no. We're talking gym culture. Because our boys over at Gear, got
Oh, yeah.
attacked and pulled in to an incident that happened.
Yep.
And I think it's representative of society in general, stuff we've both talked about a lot on this.
It's a
And
perfect example of, I don't even want to call it old school because it's not old school, originals and newbies.
yeah, and you can call it Gen fucking what or Mole Ha or
Yeah,
Gen
yeah.
Ha. I don't. We just got a new listener in fucking the Middle East. He said fuck. I'm doing that today. So Big Mike Van Wyck from Wycked, the Wicked Few, Wycked.com. Big shout out. One of the guys that we've always shouted out. I wear his clothes a lot. He's one of the reasons that gear got rolling for those boys over there. And so there's this Mike Van Wyck, obviously a past pro bodybuilder,
Yep.
got to a pretty elite level, was good. Canadian too, so shout out. And still out in the six.
Yeah.
And he's if anybody's watched him, he's very blunt, he's very straightforward, he's very, opinionated, and he has his opinion. But here's the key: he doesn't veer from his opinion.
No.
He stays to it. People are like, he's a bully. Some of the things he says, yep, he's honest. And he'll tell you if he doesn't believe in your style. And he will tell people why he doesn't believe, and he will walk people through, and he will show people why. That is what it is. Now you got Jeff Nippert. Jeff Nippert is an influencer as well. Mike's not an influencer. If you're listening, I knew that would make you mad. He's even got a shirt that says not an influencer. So,
Yep.
But Jeff Nipper's an influencer, and he's got 2.1, 2.2 million followers. Yep. He's science based.
Yep.
He's about, the science behind lifting, and Mike is like not. Mike thinks it's science based, and this is Mike's view, that science based lifting of all these influencers is just for clicks.
Yes.
And that's one of Mike's big stats. He's like, you're not training anybody, go train people, right? So anyways, have you looked into this whole situation much?
I've watched it unfold.
Mm-hmm.
I followed it. I mean, I caught it on gear also.
Yeah.
I followed it like all the way till Jeff was taking pictures of where he was getting his MRI done, and was like kind of gave his side of the story.
Yeah.
And I was like, that side of the story isn't even bad. Like, you should have got pushed still. Like, I don't know. I felt like their skill set aside. I mean, Jeff's obviously skilled at what he does in his realm, and Mike's obviously amazing at his realm.
Yeah.
But like, the story didn't make him look any better.
No.
There was a beef that he didn't think there was going to be a beef when you slam what he says on social, and you're both social media people.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why go to that gym that day? Like, there's just so many whys that didn't make any sense. And no consequences. We've talked about it on the show a million times. There's no consequences to what anyone says anymore.
Yeah, so so Mike put out a video about science-based lifting, and then Jeff replied. And so Jeff was like counterpoint, which you're allowed to do. You can do counterpoint. And Mike has said in the past he doesn't like Jeff.
Yeah.
Just for whatever reason, he doesn't like him. So you're now, as we're building this, you're allowed to not like people.
Yeah.
Or you used to be.
Yeah.
And so the next day they just happened to be in the same gym. And I'm not going to be biased in this. I'm going to be honest from my views. So next day they're in the gym. Mike walks by him, and you can watch on the closed circuit, nods at him, smiles closely as he walks by and says sup. I know Mike's a big dude. Jeff is not a big dude. So we got to start with that. Everyone's like, okay, I will opinionate on that in a minute. Walks by him, says sup. And then you can see he said that, and then Jeff said just nothing. and went back to lifting. Mike kept going. Jeff looks at his cameraman, smiles, and he smirked. I'm going to say he fucking smirked because he smirked.
Yeah.
And he said something. Now there's a bunch of people saying this, what he said, that what he said. I'm not going to jump into what did he say because I couldn't fucking hear it and I wasn't there. So everyone out there who's like, we know what he said. No, you don't, because you weren't there. And Mike hasn't said anything because Mike is not going to, I don't think. And we'll keep looking for all the fucks he gives. So anyways, and then something was said. Mike comes back towards him.
Yeah.
And then you can see in the closed circuit, Jeff nods at his cameraman and points in that direction. So they start going that direction.
Yeah.
Now, back to what I said earlier about the size differential. Mike is a big dude. Jeff is not a big dude. In your common sense, Jakey.
Yep.
A man who is a large human who has been known to be honest about his opinion. And let's be honest, Mike used to be a bouncer. Mike used to be a bodyguard for Drake. Yep. Mike comes from a life. You know he comes from a life. So anyways, we'll start walking towards him.
Yeah.
Something said, and then Mike, now by all media representation from one side, throat punched him.
Yep.
It was not a throat punch.
No, it was in the chest.
It was in the chest. And he pushed him.
He would have broken his windpipe.
Would have killed him.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it too, and a more closed circuit, Jeff went backwards and he was right by a bench. So he tripped. I mean, if Jeff could have pushed Mike in the chest and Mike would have fallen. You know what I mean? It's just science if we're going to talk about science. Did it twice because he got back up. And then his cameraman, as he's walking away, Jeff's cameraman leans into Mike. So he pushed him. Fast forward to Jeff Nippard taking a fucking selfie, getting a CT.
Yep.
I'm okay, guys. Thanks for the support.
Fucking, yeah.
What the fuck are you getting a CT scan for? Your head didn't contact anything.
No.
And so that's the Cole's Notes version. And anyway, our listeners do not know what Cole's Notes are. But anyways, that was a shortened version. And it blew up to the extent that the Jeff Nippard army is attacking anybody who supports Mike Van Wyck.
Yep.
Like calling him Mike a bully and saying violence is the key, but threatening death upon people and wishing that their fucking kids died. Like, this is the shit that's happening, right? So back to what you said, and your opinion now is where I'm going. What are your thoughts on the ability to say, because like Jeff said what he said to Mike, and Mike didn't like it, which of course he didn't like it. So stay the fuck away from him.
Yeah.
But you pushed and you got to where you wanted to be. And you might not have to push him too hard. Who gives a fuck? This isn't about should he have, shouldn't he have? He did. This is what happened. I'm done with what ifs. I'm done with what could haves. Everyone's like, he could have died. He didn't. So now what's your opinion on this? Like, you can say what you want, you can do what you want, but when you're held accountable, does it give fucking society and your followers the right to do shit that Mike's followers aren't doing? And that is attack people's families, businesses. What do you think?
No. So I think because it's on social media, the beef should stay on social media. But I think when you take it to someone's personal space, then the consequences are different. I don't think anyone should lay hands on anyone, and I think that's pretty common. Even a comment from all Mike's supporters, like his closest supporters, like. But that happens. That's not a uncommon thing in that kind of personal space beef, right? Like, but then to have your followers attack other people, like that is the dark side of social media. Like the trolling, the fuck, and then taking after people's businesses and stuff like that. Like the gym still allowing them to train there and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's bullshit. This is a social media beef. That's what it is. It's two sides of a coin. Both might have some merit. I don't take stock in anyone. I watch Mike all the time.
Yep.
I didn't even know who Jeff was until this thing came out. So I don't know. Like, don't take it. Leave it in social media. Don't fucking get in people's business in their space. And if you're in a space and you catch words, then leave it at words, because I mean, the story he told about going back, he wanted to know what he said and got his cameraman to watch because he thought something might happen. Well, fuck yeah, something happened. You thought it would happen.
You baited him.
You baited it. So
Yeah. No, I agree. And like my whole, and this is like, because a lot of people that I've tried to stay. I mean, I get judged, may or may not have been starting to reply to some trolls. We'll see. Because everybody knows my views and the putting hands on somebody. I come from, and everyone's like, oh, it's just old. No, it's human, and it's not generational. It's if you push somebody to a point, they're going to do it. Now, everybody's reason might be different than yours. It's like when I talked about, I think we've talked, because we talk about mental health and we've talked about like addiction and shit like that. Everybody's got a different fucking bottom when it comes to like quitting something, but everybody's also got a different flashpoint.
For sure.
Everybody's flashpoint is different, and everyone's like, oh, buddies should have been able to deal with it. Okay. Well, some people, some buddies, some budettes, some buddays have different flashpoints. So you can walk by Dave 6 times a day and for some reason pick on Dave and be like, fuck you, Dave. You're stupid, Dave. Dave, you suck. Dave. Dave never does anything except one day, because Dave's controlled and Dave doesn't bite and he knows societal rules. Well, one day Dave comes in covered in blood and he has skinned his family. I'm serious.
Oh,
it's like
we lost your avatar, buddy.
I know it turned it off again because of call quality, but I'm turning them back on. But do you know what I mean? Like, everybody's got a different, and I mean, okay, that's a pretty extreme thing, but like, I come from a time and a generation of life and humans where you fought. Now, unprovoked or not, violence is human and it's monkey. And if you're a creationist or whatever the fuck they are, you should probably not be listening to this podcast anyways. But we're monkeys. And if you push a monkey far enough, a monkey is going to bite you. Now, I'm not calling Mike a monkey because Mike is not a monkey. He's a developed human. But half of our podcast some days is both of us raging about shit. So if you think that just because you're not supposed to, we're not going to, well, I hate to break it to everybody out there who thinks the world's supposed to be calmer and sweeter and everybody gets a chance. It's not how it works. And for all you people who think that everyone's entitled to an opinion, you're fucking not sometimes. Like, you don't, it's like people like, oh, I allow my child to be part of the conversation. And that is part of the fucking problem.
Yeah.
I was watching a comedy show the other day where everybody's like, yeah, so I was talking to my child there and he was talking to me about what he thought we should do for the holiday, seeing as he's fucking 6. What? No, I'm sorry. Your child does not get a fucking opinion. I mean, okay, do you want to go to Disneyland? Great. But talking about what stops you're going to make and who you want to fucking see on the way, I'm sorry. It's fucked. And that's what's wrong.
I think, obviously in the past almost 6 months now, I've been reading lots and trying to be a better person and figuring shit out in my own life.
Yep.
There is a lot of structure you need as a kid to make you a functioning adult. It's very important. It's super 100%. Important. I didn't have it as a kid. I had, there's like abandonment issues and all that shit. And like telling a kid driving a family or making the rules in a family and driving where a family goes and having such a strong opinion, that's not structure. They don't have, that's not giving them structure. That's letting them free reign.
Well, then there's societal hierarchy.
Yeah.
And there always has been and there always should be. And I know I'm Mr. Laws were created by the weak to control the strong, which I still believe they were. But if the weak don't have any fucking laws, and I'm not saying you're weak for your opinion, but a weak reaction to me is going after somebody's family or friends and saying horrific fucking things without being
Yeah.
the repercussions. You
Well,
know
that
me. You sorry, go ahead.
no, go ahead. Go ahead.
You know me quite well. If somebody walks by us and there's three of us in a group, doesn't matter. It could be me, you, and Mike Van Wyck. If
That'd be
somebody,
cool.
it right, and it might happen. But if somebody fucking turned and said, "Hey, Jakey, you fucking faggot," because that's a terrible word. If somebody said that to you,
Yeah.
I would fucking snap, Mike Van Wyck
Yeah.
there or not. And I
Well, I
would
would ask
fucking,
him to snap first. Hey,
yeah,
can you snap?
but I would, yeah, can you snap your fingers? Because I feel as though you could snap us out of here. But I would, I would do what I do. I wouldn't be like, hey, you should watch your mouth. No, I would probably grab the person. At the very least, I would grab the human. That's me. Probably get charged for it, but I'd still fucking do it because there are rules. Number
Yeah,
one,
I think
if I can't use that word, you can't. Number one,
that's really why you're beating him up for the consortium.
for the consortium, I am protecting my alliance to the consortium,
Show
hoping
me your
that they,
letter. Show me
hopefully,
your letter of approval.
yeah, where's your letter? Joe Rogan said it on his last podcast, so I can.
He did.
On his last stand-up, sorry.
Yeah, and it's that's what I
And
meant.
he said retard too. So
yeah, that's a new thing.
yeah,
That is a new thing.
So
Matt Rife has a whole thing about it.
Yep.
Shane Gillis.
And that's where I'm going with this too, is this whole situation is these people have, honestly, like you said, there has to be structure, and there's been no structure where everybody can make whatever rules they want. And I'm not sitting here saying everybody should be allowed to beat people up. And anybody who's listening going, this guy's a fucking meathead, he likes fighting, he think he's a bully. Listen, kids, I've been beat up more times than you've watched the UFC fight. And that's life. And that's because I have a big mouth and there's consequences. So
I think people have forgotten. They think they're keyboard warriors in social media time, and people look. I love listening to troll comments. I think it's now my new pastime.
And it's going to become a big part of this.
Oh, it's and as soon as we figure it out, like I just love the troll comments. I follow like almost all my Instagram that I watch are people who show a crazy video and then they just play the troll comments on there, and I don't know, it's just super funny to me. But that stays there. That doesn't go into someone's personal life or go outside the meme, because then I consider that's bullying. And I never put up with bullying.
And these people are talking about bullying.
Yeah.
They're like, Mike Van Wyck's a bully. So are you.
Yeah.
And you're actually a worse bully, because what people don't understand is, I don't know, and I've worked in the industry, both construction and mental health and other industries. I have never heard of anybody going home and killing themselves because they got punched.
No.
What I have heard is people going home and killing themselves because they've fucking been bullied online with fucking things that are said that you wouldn't say to a fucking human.
No.
And that's like how you, and don't get me, okay, I've said things, but I've said it to the person's face right before I punched them. So
and I think that's the disconnect that got lost now with this generation and the social media people, is that what you say in social media does not translate into personal. Because if I fucking bash you on social media and then I see you in person and you bring it up to me, I don't get to say those same things without a serious consequence. Like, it's not a safe space when you take all that trolling and all that shit. Even the stuff that I watch that's funny. Like, if someone trolled a meme or a video that I had, and then we met in the fucking shopping mall and I knew who it was, that it would be different. It's a different confrontation because you're in person.
100%.
It's like that great commercial that where the guy gets out of the van and he walks up to the door in England and he's like, knocks on the door, and guy comes to the door in a house coat and he goes, are you user 36592? He goes, yeah. He goes, oh yeah, so like he shouldn't have gone down with the belly shot. He's like, what? And then the boxer gets out. He comes
Oh,
over. And goes,
right.
yeah, I think you commented he's a wimp and he shouldn't have gone down with the belly check. Well, he's going to punch you in the belly.
Oh, that's okay. Now I know what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's facts.
That's it. That's it in a nutshell.
And I'm not, like you said at the beginning, I mean, as much as I have that thought process in me, I know you can't hit everybody. And I don't. And I don't think I don't feel like it all. Like I don't. I mean, I've evolved. We evolved, but like I said, there's certain instances where I know I wouldn't think it through. If it was somebody that chirped me online and they were bugging me in a gym, maybe not. But you know what? At the same time, it's like I'm gonna say this because the reason I got pulled into it because I don't give a fuck if Mike pushes somebody. That's his choice. It means that I have no dog in that hunt. But what I got involved with, what I saw was Gear had reposted one of Mike's partners in Bro Chat, Foud, Haas from Hostile Subs.
Yep.
He posted a video saying, listen, and it came out right away, and I was waiting to see who would do it first because I knew what social media was going to do. They expect everybody to abandon everybody. And Haas stood there on his fucking story and said, listen, good or bad, he's my guy. I'm standing with him. And that's where it clicked with me, where I saw it was going, and that's what made me go, yes, that's how it should be. Right or wrong, you stand by your friends. You do. If they're your your family, like those guys are family.
Of course.
Everybody's like, get him off your podcast, drop support, fucking blackball him.
And the best part about having close friends like that is, like, I watched, I don't know, it seems like a million of the response videos of his closest friends. And they don't have to agree with Mike wholeheartedly. They don't,
Nope.
They're like, he should have kept his hands off it. It shouldn't have got physical, whatever.
They've said that.
And they can have that opinion because they're family. Like, they're not supporting Mike.
No.
Right? Like, we're all still human.
100%. And we make mistakes.
But the social media is just black and white. Like,
and they think you're supposed to, and like everyone's like, it's just fucking wild. And then they just went in on Hostile Subs.
Yeah.
So what did Hostile do? Hostile created a discount, 30% discount, code LoyalAF. And like everyone's like, yeah, even Antoine and Quentin and those guys said Mike's a loser. No, they went on and said, we don't support what he did, but we're not going to stop following him.
Oh.
And some of the fucking, like, reading, even Gear, who has no dog in the hunt, I was reading the comments on one of their posts that was put up 2 days before the event, talking about why the clothing brand was started, supporting, Wycked, because Wycked was one of the reasons, and as well as Flag Nor Fail, and as well as Wrath, and as well as We Are Villains, as well as Prevail Empire. People didn't even listen to it.
Yeah,
it was just like the fucking comments in that alone. I was like, "Are you shitting me? Like they're doing this to somebody they don't know?"
Yeah,
and
that's
then
crazy, right?
And then reached out to Gear and fucking they're messaging the website, like calling them fucking losers. Quit the brand shit. Like you're a fucking again. Okay, I'm only repeating what was said. A faggot.
Yep.
How? Like, and go back on Mike's dick? What? How are you on someone's dick? Like, number one, I think Gear was just stepping in with the whole support your crew.
Totally.
Like, support your fucking crew. And like some of the comments back and forth on other websites and other Instagram is like, when you ask these people who are venomous towards Mike Van Wyck and his friends and anybody that supports him, calling everybody all these old burnt out bodybuilders pieces of shit and losers, but when it comes back and the question is, what would you do if one of your friends made a mistake? There's no reply. Or they'll say, I would get rid of them. Well, that says enough about society.
Yeah. Well, that's
I do
reflection on them.
And this is my thought process. I think that line of social media, thinking that, and a lot of the comments and attacks on some accounts that don't have a lot of followers, you only have 200 followers. So that is to me is the psychology behind it. You're only important if you have likes.
Yeah.
And you're only important if you have followers. So you know, say me and you are from not even a generation, but from a like-minded content thought that, oh, well, Jakey fucking saw that fucking Shaky did something online and he was getting more dislikes than likes, so he's not worth it now. That's what happened. That's what this is about.
That's exactly. It sounds so crazy when you say it that way, though, right? Like, what the
But
fuck
that's
is the
what it
world
is.
coming to?
And you're attacking people because they have dislikes or they have less followers than you. That's what I've watched the fucking comments break down to.
I think too, like, social media has taken out that small little pause before we act, right? Like,
Yep. Yeah,
you're
it's
in a
instant.
fight, you're in a situation where things are about to go right. You know something's going to happen, and you can be an instigator or you can be a recipient of it. But like, there's a moment where you have time to make decisions and change the course. But when you're on social media, you're just and you're on the computer, like, since there's no consequence, they don't take that moment to think like, oh, what could this do? What could this actually mean when I try and bash this business when 2.1 million followers fucking email the gym and tell them to get rid of Mike? Like,
Right? And the gym did.
oh, they did get rid of Mike.
Yeah, Mike's but for now. For
Yeah.
now. I mean, I think you have to, but I think they should both be gone.
Well, we've had
If
we know about Mike. He should have just done what I did at the gym. freak Big Gay John out. Say you're gonna murder someone's family.
well, and
So-
that's assault too.
Oh, I know. I
Like-
could have got in trouble for it.
Like, how is some of the comments on these web pages not, and you on these Instagram not be, and even
No.
YouTube, like it's fucking out of control. That's assault. Like you're gonna push somebody, especially and this is, I'm saying this to the society in general. I'm not gonna pick on a generation or an age group. Everybody's mental health is weaker because of Instagram.
Yeah.
And TikTok. It just is, and I'm not gonna lie because that's how we grow this, and that's how, you know, companies like Gear or any company grows. You have to be engaged. You have to have
Well, I
likes.
mean the reach to the people. I mean, there's the days of having a mom and pop shop on a street that sees 50 people walk past it every day and maybe 2 go in.
Yeah.
That's over. Like the reach is, well, I mean, what do we have on our Instagram? 55,000?
Yeah. No, 3,800.
Yeah, so 3,800 people. I've never spoken to 3,800 people. That's like, I just went to a show last night. There was 3,000 people in the show.
Yeah.
We talked about that after. It was a great show. Not a show that you would go to.
Why? Because there was gays?
It was tango dancing.
Yeah, I'd go to that. We'll talk about that offline. There's a reason behind that.
Oh, I was there for the same reason that you were
I like it spicy. Hey, spicy. I want some heartburn when I'm done.
There's so many tall, lean women here in high heels.
Yeah. Interesting.
I could pick up tango dancing.
I fit at the right height. I just want to lay my head on your heaving, sweaty bosom. I feel safe. I feel like I'm in the mountains of your home country. And perhaps after this, we can cuddle by a fire. And I can clean the sand out of your crevices. I'm not wrong. That's why you went.
I feel like I had all those thoughts last night. You were like reading my mind.
I'm sure you had some other ones. Would I be safe if I lived inside you? Will you not leave me? Do you love me forever?
I need your attention full time.
Yes. I would like you to just look at me and make it about me.
And
yeah. if you could leave that thing at the back that I love so much, the color it came with, I would appreciate that too. Thank you. Because changing it is weird. Can't tell where it opens. It's all fucked up. That used to be how I found my way to the Happy Land. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
It's March. It's close enough to March 15th for some things. But yeah, like you don't know that many people, and
no,
like it's funny because like I was reading some comments and I was getting mad, and I'm going, why? Like, what is this upset? And I realized it's because I have my views, and I think my views should be right too. So I get both sides. I do, and that's the thing. Not a lot of people. I don't think a lot of people have said that. Is like, I get both sides. I do, as much as I support one side, and I support ones. I support Mike because I support Mike. I don't need a fucking good reason.
Yeah.
It's because I liked him first, and I like his style, and he resonates to me with his teaching and with how he talks about lifting and life. That's me.
Yeah.
That's my allowed opinion.
And
I have never once reached out to anybody and said, you're a fucking loser for not liking that.
And I don't think in any way that I have to watch or listen to Mike and agree with everything he says.
No, I've watched videos where I was like, I don't agree with that one. But I didn't stop fucking following him, and I didn't attack his family or tell him that his dogs were ugly, which they're not. They're adorable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. It just blows my mind. like people are just okay. Be judgy. This is the name of the show. Judge all you want.
Yeah, judge us.
Like, yeah, we should be judged.
We should. We've done things like lots. Still doing them. Still occurring. Right now, I'm doing something right now I shouldn't be, but I am.
Hey, that's why we got avatars. I'm still in bed because I don't have anywhere to sit.
You're not out there attacking everybody with a home. You're just letting them do their thing.
Fuck you and your homes. I just walk through my neighborhood. Fuck you, house.
Fuck you and your life. I don't walk through a tango dancing fucking seminar and attack people because they're fucking doing things that I really want to. You don't see me walking onto a porn set fucking spitting on. Well, I would.
Well, I would.
If I could get on one.
Yeah. Need clearance.
That's literally the first thing I do. I am, ma'am, I'm sorry, but I saw you do this in Vixen's Valley 2. And I know you like it.
Yeah, you looked happy. I just want you to go to your happy place again.
And so I'm going to do it to you. But yeah, like we don't. And hey, you know me quite well. I've been accused lots of being too opinionated, and I've had many arguments with people in my life close to me about the fact that I think I can just get away with it. Listen, if you don't like what I said, say something fucking back. And if I keep coming at you, it's because I believe in my opinion.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to argue it, shut the fuck up and carry. Like I'm not. It just baffles me. It's like, I don't like your opinion. Okay, don't like my opinion. So rebuttal then. Yeah. And we can, I have sat across from people who I did not agree with, and I didn't agree with their opinion. I didn't agree with their stance. And by the end of it, I didn't disagree with them anymore because I listened to them and I shut up about it. But I'm going to say what I think, but I know there's consequences.
Yeah, for sure.
I know there are consequences. I get that feeling in my stomach when I say something in a room I shouldn't, and I'm like, fuck, something's going to happen. And I think that is gone with a lot of people.
For sure.
Because I don't think those people have been hit.
No, that's the thing. You need to get hit.
Well, the only, as monkeys, the only way we lose or understand loss or will learn, for me, this is my opinion. Now attack me if you want, please, because I really want to get into some comments.
Yeah. I want to punch them.
The only way we lose or learn is by losing something, money or by pain.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like you can tell a man 1,000 things, and honestly, 90% of men will be like, yeah, I get it. But there's that 10% that maybe 20, maybe 50.
It's the fundamental of learning. Like when you're a baby,
yes,
and a parent leaves the room, you're crying because you think you're going to die because 100%. Your life source has left. But then it comes back in the room and you're like, oh, that's good. But then it leaves again. You're like, fuck, it's left this time. And then that happens over and over and over again. And you suddenly realize like, hey, this person's reliable. They're gonna keep taking. See, mine never came back. That's the problem.
Well, in some communities in the world, let's be honest. There's a whole shit ton of memes.
Yeah.
But milk. No, you hit.
All I wanted was a glass of milk.
Some smokes and some milk. But like, it's true, and you're right about that. And that's one of the fundamentals of counseling when you talk to people who have abandonment issues or esteem issues or need for attention, which I've been through. And it comes down to, and why am I a clown? Because if my mom kept crying, I figured she was going to die, and then who the fuck is going to take care of me?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's basically
part of my counseling was learning that I am the way I am so that I can diffuse situations.
Yeah.
And so I'm not left alone, which is really awkward for half the things I say are to tell people to fuck off. But I don't know. You hit it on the head. You hit it on the fucking head. And that's exactly what it is. So it's weird.
Changing gears a little bit, back still to fighting.
Yes.
What the fuck happened in the UFC last night? Who got knocked out?
Oh, I can't. I'm so sad. I think this episode needs to go up tomorrow. I think this one needs to go up tomorrow.
Swap it. I can swap it.
I think you should swap it. I think this one's more. Here's why. We're going to get more views. But we'll talk about that. Okay, so last night, fights in Abu Dhabi, and it was a banger of a card, like from fucking early prelim to the last fight. There wasn't many bad ones. There was knockouts and fucking fights of the years, but then you get up to the main card, and I mean,
was Holloway the main card?
Holloway was the main event. Max Holloway versus Ilia Topuria. Yeah. Ilia, as anybody who's been watching or watches UFC, dethroned Alex Volkanovski. Ilia is 15-0. He's at 27 years old, smaller featherweight, but a fucking total package. And like learning about him during the fight week and stuff, like he's been doing fucking jiu-jitsu since he was 4. And he's 27. Like he's been a fighter his whole life. So him and Max were the main event. And the co-main event was Robert Whittaker and Hamzat Chimaev, the Wolf, the guy that's been hurt so much and was the next big thing. And like, fuck me.
Yeah.
Fucking Hamzat fucking choked out Rob in the first round. Rob Whittaker's ex-middleweight champ. Never been manhandled. He dislocated his fucking jaw. They showed a picture. 3 of his teeth were pushed back under his tongue.
Ugh.
I'll find the picture and send it.
From the choke?
Yeah, from the crank, face crank.
Wow.
So he took him down within the first 15 seconds and just like ragdolled him for 3 minutes, and then it wasn't even rear naked. It was just a face crank. It was the same thing that fucking Habib had on Connor. It's almost like that bulldog choke. And he just cranked. He said he was, yes, I felt the pump. Sorry about that. Like Robert is one of the toughest guys in the fucking middleweight division. He tapped within seconds of him putting his arm around him. So that was. I mean, okay, changing of the guard. Hamzat's 30, Rob's 33. Hamzat came in with huge height balls behind him in 2020, and balls, huge balls. No, he's got giant balls. 2020 fought 3 times in 68 days, wiped everybody out, became a big deal, dealt with some health issues and shit, but he's the real deal. He's legit. He's got that freaky fucking mountain strength. So he did that to Rob, and then Max Holloway, who's a fucking walking legend, he's only 33 years old. He's been in the UFC for fucking 13 years.
Yeah, that one's crazy.
Bad motherfucker, right? Just won the BMF title this year, knocked out Justin Gaethje in the last 10 seconds of the fight. Fucking Justin Gaethje, who's probably the hardest hitter in the fucking lightweight division, stood in the middle of the ring, banged for the last 10 seconds, knocked him cold, knockout of the year, knockout of ever, if you ask me.
Yeah, I saw that.
Face planted him. Goes up against Ilia Topuria, and Topuria says, "I'll be the first guy to knock out Max." Guess what he did? Fucking knocked Max out cold in the 3rd fucking round.
Yeah. He was out.
He was out. And it's like, everyone's like, the comments on the IG streams, I'm done watching UFC. But like, here's what my kid texted me right after the fight with a sad face. And the first thing I said to him was like, this happens every 10 years in MMA. Like there's a changing of the guard. And there's a changing of styles, right? Like it was, the first UFC jiu-jitsu one, and then it went to striking for years. You know, strikers were like the Chuck Liddells and those, you know, like it's just everybody gets better. It's like your heroes stop being, they never stop being heroes, but they stop winning at some point. Everybody gets old, the game passes them by. And I used to really struggle with it because I got to a point where I was watching fights and my stomach wasn't doing the fucking flip-flop anymore.
Yep.
And I realized, because I love fighting, I don't care who the fighter is, and I realized that it wasn't because I didn't like fighting anymore or watching it. It was because my people were fucking losing. And it's like, that fucking sucks, man. Like Donald Cerrone, one of my favorite fighters ever. Not the world's best, not a world beater, but just an exciting fighter. Go out on his shield, and he just started looking bad. He retired, but he's talking about coming back. But everybody's like, can't come back. He's been on test for 3 years. So, not on test for the fight. But anyways, yeah, so it's just a changing of the guard. Like this, I don't see anyone beating this kid at 145. He's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of it or no?
I don't have any TVs. So I saw some highlights on that.
That's amazing.
This is my last day in the house. My last night.
Ever?
Yeah, ever. This is the day.
You don't leave any presents in the vents?
I think there's some dead animals in the vents anyway. That I just can't get. So
definitely lost dreams and fucking hopes, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. It's today's the last day. It's kind of weird, to tell you the truth.
100%.
I put a lot of time in this house, and whether it was under this circumstance or another circumstance, like I never lived anywhere longer than a few years, and now I've been in this house for 12.
Yeah, it's a lot when you have that lifestyle and you attach to something. Finally, it's hard. And like you said, good scenario or bad scenario when you leave a house. See, me and you have similar paths. Like we just cycle through what we cycle through.
Yep.
We live what we live, and we do what we do, and we move on. And when you get to a point where you decide you're not moving on anymore, and then you move on again, it's like, this is different.
Definitely. It like, definitely, the last hours, I guess, have hit me a little harder in the gut.
Yeah.
But
well, it's because
not because I'm fucking worried about the future or sad about how things are going. It's just, it just kind of fucking hits you like you're never going to be in this room again, or you're never going to see this again.
Yeah. I mean, you watch
like a death, I guess.
It is a death, right? And that's what people forget, and like people don't understand is like they always tell people you just need to move on. Well, it doesn't have to be a house, a person. It can be anything that you're attached to, and moving on from things as you get older, especially. Yeah. But aging it is, I don't know. I think you could be, it's like a kid who fucking, it was, okay, I'll say, like, for me, we moved around so much when I was a kid. I didn't care about moving anymore, but when we stopped in Vanderhoof, and it was like, I did 6 years there. That's the longest I've lived anywhere, still to this day, longest.
Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry, Cranbrook was 10. But anyways, but it's like, when it was time to go, I was like, I'm not going. I was 17 years old. And my mom's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I can't leave. Like, and so I didn't leave because I wasn't fucking ready. And like, I still think about that to this day. It was like one of those fucking hard moments where it's like, and there was when there's vested interest, or it doesn't even matter what it is, you're attached to it. So it's like, the last hours are going to be, tough.
Yeah.
And good on you for there it is. I am going to violate the shit out of my fucking organs from the inside and out.
I'll leave a little semen in every corner.
That is gonna cost to get that cleaned out.
Ooh, that one's gonna stain.
That is tears, piss, shit, and cum. A little bit of blood.
I didn't want to use the toilets anymore.
A little bit of blood because I went up a gauge in the old Pluggerooski.
Yep. Yeah. Again.
Just when you think you've bored it out and you can't red sock more. Okay? I could add another couple millimeters to that redstone. Fucking weird thing is, there's no one here to push it back in. Where's that fucking raccoon under the deck?
Who's that? Oh, it's dead.
I killed it
That's
too.
that smell.
I killed it too.
It does not put up a fight.
No, it didn't take me long for that one. So you're back on the road tomorrow then?
Tomorrow I'm in Mexico.
A wild life. And that's where you are for the winter.
That's where yeah. I have to plan where I'm going on my time out. What's up?
I heard you might be near me over the holidays.
On during Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Absolutely.
Don't expect a thing, just so you're aware.
I'm gonna come by your Christmas tree.
Nope. I'm good.
Dad, who's the homeless guy under the tree?
I'm actually going out of town, so I'll give you a show when I'm back.
I did like the place that we're going to tomorrow. Out of complete coincidence, because I booked it last minute and I just picked kind of on some like on Air Canada vacations, just on some reviews.
Yeah.
It happens to be by the place in Puerto Vallarta that I wanted to Airbnb. I've stayed there a couple times.
Yeah.
Like right beside it, but I can't get a hold of them. I email them, I call them, they don't call back, and they rent out their condos there. So I'm gonna try and go by, and if I do go by, I'm gonna find out how much their condo is to rent in January, and then I don't know. I'll have a couple bedrooms if you and the wife want some time off.
What?
Come down.
The who?
Chill it by the pool.
The what?
You and the roommate, human.
There you go. The who?
Bring someone.
There you go.
Anyone. I really don't care. I'm not
51 minute is where you do it at it.
Oh, you could be John.
I can tell you with my batting average at this point, there's a chance I may be looking for a condo. Just saying, test the fucking season.
Do you know I could have flown down to Puerto Vallarta, stayed at a boutique Airbnb. It's like 4 apartments in one building, right by the beach. Flight, Airbnb included, $670.
What?
Yeah, it was $30 a night. And the reviews were great. There was like hundreds and hundreds of reviews.
That's wild.
It was a weird flight though. Like it took like 11 hours to get there because you just puddle jump everywhere. But yeah,
it's crazy.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
So yeah, and then I also heard you know, people are hoping that you end up over near me forever.
Oh my god. Yeah. There is a contingent of people
I know,
telling me to move to the island.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if that'll happen.
They mentioned it to me, like, you should talk to him. Like, I don't want him over here. Like, it's not the less people that are near me, the better. I'm sorry. It doesn't, like, I don't want the fucking, hey, I'm in the neighborhood. I can see out my window. I see you. But it ain't changing what I'm doing because I'm not opening the door. And that has not, this goes back to being allowed to have your opinions and your thoughts. Listen, I love the people in my life. I do. I love them all.
Yeah.
For the most part. Some are there because they have to be. But I don't want you around a lot.
You know, we're not under contract to this podcast.
Yeah.
I don't have to be around if you really want to get rid of me. Don't put me in garbage bags.
Well, there's an option. Everyone who's like, oh, why don't you just get rid of me? Because I do it differently than fucking most people. I'm sorry. There won't be I find you stupid on your Instagram post. Yeah. There will be a, hey,
I'll put on the wetsuit.
I'm sorry that you had to wake up like this, but this is what's happening.
Yeah. Do you know how much I'm going to get for both these kidneys?
Have you seen Dexter season 2, episode 6? This is what's happening. I'm picking them at random at this point. I don't know what to tell you. But no, I have lots of buddies that are like, hey, so I'm thinking of moving to the island. That's fucking cool. They're like, yeah, we could. No, we can't.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be on the island. That's fucking great. Remember when we lived in the same town? Did we do stuff? Well,
Yeah.
when we drank, yeah, well, guess what? I don't fucking do anymore. So
Yeah.
sorry.
We still have to go to Vegas though. I mean, I
What
don't have that house anymore, but
do we do
for
there?
$39 a night, we can get a suite at the Rio
Sounds like a lot of
each.
weird things, but we can. I mean, I don't. Now I'm on the spot. It's on record, so I gotta say, sure, buddy. That'd be fucking great. Let's fucking do it. The older I get, the less I like everybody. I'm turning into my grandpa.
I think our next golf trip should be in Vegas.
I'm not golfing in Vegas.
Why?
It's too hot.
We didn't even pick a season yet.
It's always too hot. I've never once been to Vegas and go, geez, this is a good temperature. It's always too fucking hot in Vegas. I'm sorry. Like, I'm still shook from the time I went to fucking fight week back in the day in July. I should never have been there in that heat.
July's hot.
It changed me. Is there, I mean, if we could do like a day of golf in Vegas and then like maybe like I don't know, something in fucking Palm Springs or something. I mean,
Palm Springs would be better to golf if we're gonna golf.
Well, we'll talk.
There's gays there too, lots.
I don't know. Oh, so
it'd be a John's element.
Yeah, according to those people, we're in their element all the time because they know everything.
Yes.
So which is about to change if Trump gets back in.
I got a quick big gay John story. Okay. So we're driving yesterday to this show to see the tango.
Yeah.
With a couple of our friends.
Yeah.
Or like not driving with them, but we're meeting a couple of friends. We're driving. The road is busy. It's in the middle of fucking Vancouver. And up on the right lane beside the car, we see like some guy flicking his lights. He's flicking his lights, and he comes past us, and he's this big jacked up truck, and then he turns right. Don't know why he was flicking his lights. I assumed he was trying to tell the person in front of him to turn right as well, but like a friend or whatever, they were following each other. John immediately goes, "What a douchebag flicking his lights." And I'm like,
seriously?
Well, why is he a douchebag? Well, look at the truck he drives.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm like, your people have fought being marginalized and called gay and beat up just because of who you are, and now you're doing the same thing to the dude on the truck. He's like, yeah. I'm like, I feel like this is wrong, John.
Words that many men have said to John.
Yeah. This is wrong. And he's like, just do it. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. My pastor did it. 6 degrees of separation. Every gay human on earth was fucked by a Catholic priest.
You think it could be 6 steps?
6 steps, 6 degrees, 6 fucking tears, 6 broken fucking anal blood vessels. I don't know. I think there's a connection. So you tied that in perfectly to the topic we started with. Is like,
yep.
You get mad at something that's is perceived done to you, so you do it to someone else.
Yeah.
So how the fuck? It's just, and that's I think the cycle of humanity is nobody likes other people's opinions, so they impart their opinion on them, but in turn you're doing what you said was done to you to them. So how the fuck are you any better? And that's the part that pisses me off. It's like, look, I will gladly look in the eye and say, I'm sorry if I was wrong. But if I was, and then just and then I'm going to punch you and probably push you in the throat because we're in the gym and you don't like what I'm doing. But like, it
would have been great if Mike pissed on him while he was on the ground.
Like and like the lift the leg and piss on him too.
Get down on all fours and actually lift a leg like a dog.
This is how you do hip flexations.
Proper hip this way. That's science.
If you feel it pull back into your lower back, you're doing it right. If you don't engage,
yeah, you must engage.
You must engage. If there's no point to the movement, if you don't feel engagement.
We pardon this interruption. As legal counsel for the Shaky and Jakey Get Judged podcast show, we must inform you as a listener that the opinions, comments, and subject matter of this podcast do not in any way reflect the opinions of those that matter. In fact, we would like to state on the record that the opinions and comments of the show are from the twisted minds of the creators only, and in no way should this show be taken seriously. The fact that you have listened this long does, however, reflect that you as a listener are in dire need of a therapist. In the meantime, please move on with your life while always judging Shaky and Jakey. Thank you for tuning in. This concludes your therapy session of the Shaky and Jakey Get Judged podcast show.